Hey, welcome back to the Knox Hollow Wood Shop, where we are doing some more wand making today because everybody seems to like the wand making videos. So, this is just going to be a simple, just a single wand on this video instead of multiple wands. I'm just filling some holes in my stock for the show coming up here in a couple weeks at MizCon, and I needed to make another Bloodwood wand, and I'm going to do these. The style I'm going to do on this seems to be fairly popular, and so I'm going to do a couple of them, one in Bloodwood and then one in maple. So we're gonna give that a shot. But before I get too deep into that, I want to give a big shout out to my member supporters and really thank you guys for supporting the channel and helping me keep going with these wand making videos. I am hoping to do a video soon if I can get back from this event where I can invite more people to join our Discord so we can kind of get that started. I've got the Discord made, but we haven't really got that advertised very much. And I think I'm gonna open that up to everybody, and then give all the member supporters just like some bonus perks. Well, they'll have more access to all the channels and be able to post pictures and stuff like that. Whereas just the Muggle level supporters will they'll be able to get on and type in some of the channels, but they won't be able to join like any of the live shows or the video chats. They might be able to listen in, but they won't be able to jump in with voice or anything. So we'll see how that goes. I got some other things that I was thinking about doing too. Maybe we can do some like wand giveaways or something. Like once a year, maybe all the members get entered into a drawing. What do you guys think? What would you like as member supporters? What would entice you? What kind of things would you like to see as perks that I might be able to do? And if you're not a member supporter, leave a comment. Let me know what kinds of things that you think would you would be interested in supporting the channel for $1 a month or $3 a month. I'm trying to keep it really pretty inexpensive. Not trying to make a bunch of money doing these videos. Really just here to share with you guys my maker's process. So anyways, I am doing something a little bit different with this video. Instead of editing the video first and then doing a voiceover, I thought, well, let me see if I can do kind of both at once. So maybe I'm not stepping on my words quite so much and I don't feel rushed. So this wand, basically all I've done at this point, since I've wasted so much time talking at the beginning, it's pretty much the same as all my other wands. I get it worked down to the just in the round, and then I cut the shaft, the blade of the wand down to a general size that it's going to be, and eventually I'll put a taper on it. But that way I can get the blade worked up into the chuck, and that gives me less chatter on the wood because there's a smaller amount of it unsupported sticking out there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and work the basic shape in. And this is the shape on this is going to be fairly simple compared to some of the wands, because I'm going to go, this is again a special edition. I'm going to go in with the Dremel tool and do that kind of creepy, holy, crackly, cracked looking sort of design on this. So let's kind of get into some of that here. So we got to get this shape finished off first. So as you can see, the general shape is pretty basic. I'm getting close to where I can part that off here momentarily, but I'm just kind of refining the shape. And then we'll do a bunch of sanding. And I go through the sanding steps a couple of different times on this because I want to put the black dye in on this. And I know that if I can get this polished up before I dye it, then the dye is not going to penetrate as deeply in, and then I'll come back and sand it again and take the dye off the surface so that it only goes into the machine cracks. So there's quite a bit of sanding on this particular design, because I have to basically go up and then back down and then back up to polish and sand on it. So we'll get through a bunch of sanding here, and then we'll get into some some other steps on this. Yeah, we've got a lot of the sanding done, but I've got to stop right here and quickly part off the tenon on the handle, and then that goes pretty smooth. So once that's done, then it's some kind of shape sanding on the pommel here, and then some final sanding and polishing. And once I've got everything kind of polished up to a certain point, then we'll move into the Dremel tool. But real quick first, I do want to just remind you, if you're not a member supporter, you can join the membership channel. Just slide right down there at the bottom, and you can do a donation to support us, or you can even just do the super thanks if you want to do a one-time donation, and that's always appreciated. So thank you all so much for supporting the channel. Okay, so I've got the first Dremel bit in, and this is a Kudzall bit, one of the burr bits, and it's tapered. So the deeper I Dremel into it, the wider the hole is going to be. So the first thing I do is I go in and I kind of space out the wide, the larger diameter holes, and I'm doing something a little different on this than I've done in the past, because in the past I've only done like the pommel and the guard with these, funky, creepy holes. But I'm also doing kind of a smaller sort of a bulbous in between there as well on the part of the grip. So a little bit different idea on it, and we'll see how that goes. And then I'm going to switch over to some smaller bits and work that in as well. But before we get into the smaller bits, I do want to remind you, if you haven't done it already, then you can easily just sneak down there and hit that little thumbs up button. And that is a lot of support for the channel, as well as it helps the videos get viewed by other people. So any little support, you don't even have to be a member supporter or anything. Just hitting that thumbs up is really appreciated. So now I've switched over to a little bit smaller, sort of a ball-shaped burr on this, and it doesn't go as deep, and which is fine. As you can see with that tapered bit, I was able to get a couple, 2 or 3 different, size larger holes, and then with this little ball bit burr, I'm doing some smaller divots, to kind of fill in around there. And I'll do this with this bit and then a smaller bit, and then we'll go in and put in the creepy lines as well. Okay, so now as you can see, I'm using just a little tiny another ball head, spherical burr, and I'm just doing some kind of small, tiny holes on that as well, and divots around the edges to fill that out. And I just really want to kind of capture a more organic, kind of creepy feel to this. So once I've got those in, then I'll go in and put in the lines. Okay, so this is one of the more tedious things. So I've got a really, really fine bit on here as well to do these lines, and I'm just connecting, just randomly, like, connecting the different hole sizes with these sort of cracks that all interconnect this sort of organic shaped pattern. And with these lines, they with them carved out like that, that's going to allow me to get the dye deep into the crevices, and that way when I sand it, there'll be this really really good contrast in colors with that. But it's really time consuming. This is sped up. Again, you're looking at it at 400% speed, so it's 4 times faster than do this on the video than it actually takes several hours to do this. But overall, I really like the look of it, and it's worth it, and I like to have a variety, in the price points. So from the simple and basic ones to the, complex and really detailed ones like this as well. So let me skip ahead here, and we'll get farther into where you can see how that's turning out. But first, I do want to remind you all, if you haven't had a chance to sneak down there and hit that subscribe button, and make sure that when you subscribe that you ring that bell, and that way you'll get notified anytime that I put some new videos up. So appreciate all the support, guys. Okay, so I've got most of the line work done on this, and as you can see, there's really quite a bit of connecting lines that is being done, especially with that center um, bulbous critter right there in the middle. That added quite a bit of extra work on this one as well. So, but I overall I think that the design on this is one of the more unique designs that I do. So we'll keep working those lines in there, and then we'll do the cleanup work on it. Okay, so after I get the lines pretty well worked in where I want them. It leaves kind of fuzzies around the edges, and so that all has to be sanded and cleaned up. So now I'm going back to like my 300 grit sandpaper, I think, and then start working that back up. And that's going to take all of the any of the rough edges from the Dremel tool and stuff out of that, and then that's going to allow me to polish that up. And then as I'm working this, I've gone ahead and brought the air compressor, the blower out so that I can keep the dust off there and kind of see, I don't want to get too deep with my sanding because I want to leave those lines nice and deep in there. But at the same time, I do need to polish this up before I can put the dye on. So yet one more step to do, but overall worth it for the final look. Okay, I've got that finally polished up, and I've used the air blower to blow out um, all the sawdust there, and I'm using this black leather dye, the Phoebing's black leather dye, and I've talked about this before, and I'm just really getting that is down into all of those little holes and cracks as best I can. And, even though I've got this polished up really well with the sandpaper, it's still gonna take, quite a bit of sanding. So that's one of the reasons I made those lines as deep as I did, and I tried to be as careful as I could because I just wanna take off almost all of the surface dye on this. But, that's gonna have to dry now, and, you can see I'm wiping this off. First I'll wipe it off with just a rag, um, scrap rag, and then I'm gonna use some denatured alcohol to, kinda help take it off the surface, and that does remove as you can see, it does remove quite a bit from the surface because I did polish that up so high. So I actually got quite a bit of, the dye off the surface of it here. So, then we'll move back into our sanding. All right, so now we're kind of moving to our final steps, and I'm taking the sandpaper again, or the sanding pads. I'm going all the way up to that 2500 grit to polish it. After I've got the surface worked, all the surface dye worked off, and so that's only leaving it down in the cracks. Because again, especially with Bloodwood, it does polish up so nicely. That doing an oil and wax finish on this, but I've done several of these kind of creepy. I've just said, called them creepy Bloodwood or, creepy wand or whatever, but I probably should come up with a name for this style. What do you guys think? It makes me think of this kind of dark shadow, is it a dark wizard wand? Is it a shadow wand? Let me know in the comments what kind of names you think would be good for the style. So, but this is what it looks like after I get it sanded, and then this is the oil finish on here. And once I've got that oil to dry, take some time for that boiled linseed oil to dry. We'll put the wax on it, and I'll get that the final pictures up for you here. So anyway, here's the final close-up shots of the finished wand. This is with the wax finish on there, so it's all polished up. As you can see, those details of those cracks and crevices and stuff that it almost looks like they've been kind of burned in there or something. So, but anyways, one of my favorite styles to do. So I hope you enjoyed this one. This will be going to MisCon with me with the rest of the wands, and then when I come back from the show, hopefully I'll sell a bunch of them, so we'll be able to do some more wand videos and maybe some other stuff as well. So appreciate you watching, and we'll catch y'all on the next video.